Hello everybody, welcome to Sunday at 6 with Miss Sandra. So today then, the 1946 London lectures, we're looking at solving the social problem. So this is another really interesting lecture where Montessori reminds us again that everything that takes place in those first 6 years from 0 to 6 is vitally important. So the first period of life is a time of great physical growth and development. It's also the age of psychic formation and the formation of the individual personality. And then she reminds us that this period is again broken down into two parts, birth to 3 and from 3 to 6. And she tells us how we don't necessarily remember what we've done between the age of 0 and 3, specific activities. But these things form our character. What happens to us, what we experience, they're all really vital in helping us form and become the person we are, that man of the future, the adult of the future, the silhouette around the child of where they're going to develop to and what they're going to become. So 0 to 3 is vital for that. But in this chapter here, this is about solving the social problem. So Montessori talks about 0 to 3 then shaping us. It doesn't just shape the quality of the language you learn. So Montessori reminds us in here that all children play and every language has a word for play. Every child needs to develop language. We'll develop the characteristics of the language around us. So we might have speak in a certain way, a certain dialect. We'll learn the language that we hear all around us. Quite often people call that their mother tongue. We'll imitate other people. That's how we learn our language. Nobody sits us down and gives us formal lessons. So we learn language in this age, but actually we also learn then about our communities, our cultures, our beliefs. And this then is when Montessori also thinks children in 0 to 6 need to be learning and accepting of other people's cultures. So I'll read a little bit more from the book from you. It says, I call a child of 3 years a man because I see his merits instead of his size. He's acquired a great degree of independence and he can do many things for himself. And she gives examples such as he can speak, he can eat. We know in the classroom the child can use tools, can't they? They show a high level of independence because the parents have taken great care of the child. But now, you know, the child is too big for us to carry everywhere. The child needs to be down and to go off exploring. So 3 then is a perfect age for the child to come in our 3 to 6 classroom. Our child has the language, has the social skills, has the independent skills. Now they come into us in our class and they meet children from all different walks of life, from all different cultures, of all different skin colours, of all different hair colours. They come in and they experience a small selection of the world within their classrooms. And this now is where the child's social life outside of family begins. So this age of special characteristics they have recognised since the beginning of the world, the characteristics of imitation and play. Little children imitate the older ones. The older children say that the little ones copy them in everything they do. And this was such a phenomenon because we're now copying and learning about other children, about different children, about how other children speak, about their languages and their cultures. And this is what Montessori says is really important. So the first half of this period is a period of growth and creation, but the second half from 3 to 6 is a continuation of this. The children don't create anything now, they grow, they perfect their skills, and we know, don't we, in our classrooms they need repetition, work, repetition, perfection of the skills, our human tendencies. They have to, don't they, achieve, they have to be successful, they want to perfect what they're doing and then move on to something else. So children here now are working within a social group. They have their own language, and language is something that develops in all humans. In the same way, we all acquire it, first of all, from the adults around us. And Montessori reminds us that language is one of the things that continues to develop. It's a natural development, and the creation of language continues to be unconscious. The children don't sit down and think, I must learn 10 new words today. They learn them if we speak them. And children have a special sensibility for learning language, don't they? So they learn language from their environment. And what Montessori is saying to us is, this is also the age when they should learn cultures. They learn the cultures of the world and how other people live. Because we accept languages, we accept that we learn language, and it becomes natural to us. We all speak. But actually, if children also learn about other people's cultures now, they're going to be accepting of them and understanding that we all have different cultures, we all have different beliefs, just like we all have different languages. So Montessori says then, you know, this is not teaching, this is absorption. This is the children just accepting that this is how the world happens. It's a very logical thing to do. So she says in the first period from birth to 3, the child absorbs things like their regional dialects, the characteristics of their language. They copy things like intonation. And then the children remain among the people who speak this dialect, and that's how they speak too. But we want children within their cultures to come into nursery to experience other things and to see those as part of everyday life as well, so that we learn to accept that we all speak, we all have different beliefs, we all have different cultures within our families, and that is perfectly acceptable. We've taken this on in our early learning. It's not strange to us. It's not something we're going to sit down and learn as a teenager as a strange concept. So Montessori then calls this, you know, we're developing our social life in nursery. She wants us to have a high level of brotherhood and empathy between countries, and just to see how well this works when children are brought up together in nurseries. When children come into the classroom, they are all accepting, they're inquisitive, they want to know about things their child has. They love it, don't they? In the Montessori area of the classroom, the lovely thing about teaching children about beliefs and other countries and cultures and languages is there's such a richness in the resources we can have. We don't just go, oh, it's Chinese New Year, we're all going to have some different food today and learn about Chinese New Year. It's not about just doing those themed days that mainly focus on different foods. We actually have this beautiful selection, and my cultural things are here behind me, from around the world there every day for the children to be inquisitive about, to learn about. So it's part of our everyday life. And if we have children in our room who are different countries, to be able to ask them daily about different things, for them to be able to bring things in, to go into the cultural baskets, so it becomes an acceptable part of our classroom. Because Montessori says they have an absorbent mind. They will absorb these things and be accepting of them. She says people of different cultures cannot always understand each other. Language is one of the barriers to understanding. So we have to then try and experience as many languages as we can. So Montessori says by the time grown-up people realise the necessity to have sympathy and understanding for all men, it's too late to attain this sympathy and understanding. The barriers that have been constructed cannot be broken down. Understanding can come easily to children up to the age of 3 and can be quite often fixed between the ages of 3 and 6. So as Montessori teachers then, a big duty falls on us, because we are the ones that are there opening the children up more often than not to other cultures, to other people, to the social group within the nursery. So it's for us to also educate the children about the world as well as all the other areas of education. So this, I think, was a really important speech, because it just reminds us actually in their early age, as well as absorbing their language then, they're absorbing everything else around them. And if we want language to be accepted as it is, then also we just want to accept cultures as they are as well. So it's really important in this 0 to 3 and 3 to 6 then, that our work includes supporting our children to accept the world, the people, the differences, and just see and accept what carries on. So it's all part, isn't it, of our education for our peace, understanding how to be sociable, how to accept people, how to just see that actually we're all humans living on the same planet. And that is the big picture, isn't it? We are all human, we're all part of this race, just like all dogs are dogs and all cows are cows and all birds are birds. We are all humans with our uniqueness to each of us, our own languages, our own beliefs, our own cultures, our own ways we live, our own ways we design our homes, our own heritages, our own history. But actually, we're all humans living on the same planet Earth. And that, I think, is what the Montessori education can bring to children, because of the wonderful resources we have that work in any language, the beautiful opportunities children have to learn about the solar system. We all have the same solar system. We all have the same planet Earth. We all see the same landforms, don't we? And then we all see the continents as they are. And then we can all experience and learn about each of these continents with our children. Then we learn about the countries in the Montessori classroom as well. So it's really amazing what we can do, what we can open up to the children. Like I say, not just on a theme day, but any day that they come in, that there's a motivation, an intrinsic motivation to learn about it. Maybe somebody's been somewhere and seen something. Maybe someone's been on holiday. Maybe somebody asks you about Africa because they're interested in the animals. And it leads on to all of the different countries that are in Africa and what borders they share and which seas they have access to. It's all an education of the world that's perfectly acceptable. And then the children will become, you know, citizens of the world, global citizens, not just isolated to their own country, their own belief, their own culture. So to me, this was a really simple but really important lecture to make us realise that actually it's not just in this age of absorption that they absorb language, but they actually are absorbing everything that we are teaching to them, everything we are acting, everything that we are being, the children are absorbing. So the more opportunity we give to them, the more experience we give to them, the more they're going to absorb as that being part of their normal life. They'll absorb kindness, they'll absorb understanding, they'll absorb the respect that we give to other people. And that's what they'll grow up to be. They'll grow up to be educated, kind, caring adults who respect each other. And then we won't have, we hope one day, all these adults in the world who just want to battle over things and just want to war over things because they don't value another religion or value another belief or value another country. So Montessori is very much about educating the children from tiny to see us as humans of the world, here to live peacefully all on the same planet. So yeah, so a really lovely little lecture this evening from our 1946 London lectures. That's all I have to say on that one. So next week is going to be lecture 21, which was given on the 25th of October 1946. And that one's called Work and Play. So I know you love seeing activities. So what I was going to do tonight is I'm just going to choose one of my baskets from my cultural area. And I'm just going to show you the contents of one of my baskets. So just give me a moment to move myself. Here we go. So those of you that are in the subscriber hub, you'll know that I've been working through all of the shelves, showing you how to set up a classroom. So obviously this is an environment at home. This is just a converted garage. It is slightly extended as well. So we have looked down the other end at Practical Life Sensorial, the maths videos I've added this week. But I'm going to be working now through our cultural area. So here we go. So when we first took their community, they're young. Sorry, I lost signal for a moment. I think we're back again now. So when they're younger, like I say, we do the local geography and going for a walk and learning where things are and visiting a pond, things like that. But once they come into our 3 to 6 classroom, we start looking at the cultural area. I actually have my geography things on the top shelf because they just are bulky and need that space. We start off with the solar system and we teach the children, don't we, that this is the solar system for all of us. We all have the same solar system and we all live on planet Earth. Then I have lots of beautiful solar system classification cards, teaching what Earth is made out of. I have all my landforms, so this is things like your lake, island, isthmus, your system of lakes, your archipelago, so your groups of islands, and the cards. And we have our lovely sand, land and water globe. Then we teach about the continents. I have a beautiful, huge continent map here. And then I have my continent map in small, I have my continent map in 3-part cards because I really love the geography things. And then in each of these baskets, you can see there's different colours of envelopes. And these are from Marula Tree, actually, they're sewn ones. And these relate to the colours on our continent globe, and they match. So if we look here and look at yellow, which is Asia, and I go to the basket, which has all the yellow pockets in it, I'll pop it on here. I'm going to pop you back down for a moment. Oh, there we go. We can have a look at all the beautiful things in this basket. So the children can go and take this at any time. They don't have to wait for a particular theme day. And it may be because one of the children comes from a particular country in Asia and they want to come and share some things with their friend, and they all want to learn from each other. And this becomes that all of them love this work. So let me show you what's in my little bags, because I have lots of things in here. And again, every classroom you go to, every teacher's cultural area is going to be different because we all collect different things. And some people have much bigger baskets. One of the classrooms I taught in, I had huge wicker baskets, like picnic baskets, full of dressing up clothes and all sorts of things, pictures, cards, games. But I only have a small classroom. So in this pouch here, I have got this beautiful set of cards. These are out of a Brainy Box set. And these are then countries that can be found on the continent of Asia. The set didn't have all of them, but it has quite a few. Okay, so it has all these cards because people quite often say, well, when do children learn about countries? Well, here is their activity to learn about countries. So lots of beautiful cards here, all about different countries. These ones are actually a memory game. So you'll know we have our Kim's game where children look at objects and we cover them up and then they have to remember them. So this is the same sort of thing. You look at this card and then we ask questions, and the questions are on the back. So we'd have to sit and discuss this with a young child because they're not going to be able to read all these words. So really lovely sets of cards there about countries. So that's extended their learning from the continent down to different countries. I have lots of models of beautiful little buildings, such as the Taj Mahal. I have some animal models that are native to Asia as well. Put lots of those in here. I've got other monuments as well. Let's have a look and see what's in this pouch, because I can't remember. So this is a different style one. This is a simple button pouch. This one has the Velcro on, because so this would normally have 3-part cards in it. Let me see what I have put in this one. Oh yes, this is lovely. So this was, I think this was a gift from one of my friends, Tiffany, and this is animals from Asia. So the animals and the details about them. So some of them just have the name, some have the name and the details. So a really beautiful set of animals that would be found natively on the continent of Asia. So that's that wallet. This wallet then, I remember what this has in it. This was another one where I bought a beautiful packet of cards of animals from all around the world. And then I looked to see which continents they were from. Now some were from more than one continent. So I put as many as I can into the continents based on the facts that I read here on the back. So again, I would sit with the children and see which ones they knew the name of and read them all of these wonderful facts. And arms are longer than its body and legs put together. Are your arms longer than your body and your legs? Should we measure and see? And from that we might get the red rods out or the number rods and start measuring. We might lay the children down and they can chalk round each other, which is early writing skills. We might look at the king cobra and see how long he is and then think, wow, could we measure out? Let's have a look and see how long he is. I don't know. I don't know if it tells. 5 meters long. Shall we get the 1 meter number rod and measure 5 meters down our classroom and see how long this snake really is? That's the length of how many children can you lay along the line? And all of a sudden you've extended your learning. And you can do initial sound I spy for these pictures as well. Can you find an animal that begins with the sound P? Oh, the panda. What about T? The tiger. So lots of beautiful English and maths built into our cultural as well. And this is following the child, isn't it? And following their interests. This is how easy it is to do when you've studied Montessori and you understand how all these wonderful things fit together. And then here as well, we have a lovely selection of pictures, and then all the descriptions that go with them. So lots of facts. So as a teacher, you don't actually have to remember everything. Somebody has very nicely made the pictures and provided all of the text for you to read to the children. So you see, although that's only a small little box, and at the bottom of it, I have my little outline picture of Asia. There's so much learning in there, isn't there? There's enough in there to fill a whole morning for the children that choose this. By the time they've looked at the animal cards, played initial sound I spy, Kim's game, by the time they've looked at the 3-part cards, the country cards, explored all the different animals and maybe chosen to get the world map out, and then that could have led on to having, I'll show you this map because it's huge and they love it. They may have chosen the world map, which is absolutely enormous, and then they may have chosen a basket with animals from all around the different continents and placed those out. And all of a sudden, you know, this is intrinsic motivation. Your children are learning because they're inspired and this is what they want to learn today. And when they've finished all this wonderful learning and covered every area of learning as well, they pop everything away, which is their respect for the classroom, their personal, social and emotional development. They're taking responsibility to keeping everything beautiful, and then they go and they take it back to the shelf, and it's all there ready for their friend to use later if they want to do it. And they've finished their work, and then they can go off now and do what they'd like to do next. They might choose to wash their hands and go and have a snack, or they might decide to go and read a book, or they might want to know even more about one of the countries in Asia and might come and say, are there books in the cupboard about that? And we might find another book for them to get out. So it's always important as a teacher to be prepared. So that was our lovely Sunday. I hope you enjoyed that. Our Sunday evening Montessori lecture about solving the social problem, how we accept each other, and it's through education. It's through education with our young children and making the world and its knowledge and everything on it available for every child to learn about. And that's how we learn about and respect each other, our languages, our cultures, our beliefs, our families, our clothing, everything that's different about us that makes us unique. But when it comes down to it, we are all human and we all live on the same planet. And we all live within the same solar system. So I think that's a really important lesson for us to carry forward with all of our children as we work towards, you know, an education for global peace, which is what Montessori ultimately, you know, that was her goal, wasn't it? So thank you for joining me this evening.